Like Rod Steele was talking, oh look, it's that big ace crusher right in the chair, calling out Mikey Tenderfoot, and he sneaks up from behind. Rod Steele did a good job of laying it out. These guys have been up and down the road together. Friends, enemies, back and forth again. Ron, you knew this is a St. Pete street fight, and what better to go over IPW here than the guys that actually stole the show at the 5-year anniversary, Rod Steele and Mikey Tenderfoot.
You remember how they tore themselves from limb to limb, Aaron Will. Mikey Tenderfoot, the savage beatings that he's taken from Rod Steele, backing up, coming, flying across the ring, honest Eddie Edwards, playing traffic police, blocking Mikey Tenderfoot. You know what? Honest Eddie, love the guy. Former referee. Some people would say in the back pocket on 911 Incorporated. I would argue, I would actually dismiss that. Rod Steele, Eddie Edwards, they go way back. But the truth is, I think Eddie's just looking out for the welfare of Mikey Tenderfoot and try to prevent him from hurting himself any further. Oh my God!
That didn't work at all if that was his intention. Rod Steele laying out Mikey Tenderfoot with a chair as he tried that suicide dive between the ropes. For the fans that didn't quite catch what's going on here with Eddie Edwards, Rod Steele brought him out as his personal referee. If you remember, Mikey Tenderfoot first came onto the scene when he lost that Sage in a key mask. He was the referee for the Alliance of Defiance. He was in their back pocket, if you will, but a big falling out. Him and Rod Steele went at it for nearly a year after that. As I said, since then, back and forth again. They can never stay friends. They can never stay enemies. Rod Steele said, I like having this referee. Who better than the 911 referee, the commissioner of IPW, Eddie Edwards?
It's tough watching this match sitting here in the booth, Aaron. Rod Steele and Mikey Tenderfoot, two of the greatest athletes we ever had here in IPW. Rod, a former world heavyweight champion, former TV champion, former tag team champion, and Mikey Tenderfoot, a former cruiserweight champion. Look at him, uncorking a beautiful dive, levels Rod Steele right here at the VFW in St. Pete. Mikey Tenderfoot coming out, both guns a-blazing. I'm going to tell you what, Aaron, I know Mikey Tenderfoot has amassed tons of injuries over the past couple of years. He's been laid up and he's been completely out of the business. I think he's going for the quick win because, truthfully, I don't think he can go that long.
He may not be able to. 4 herniated discs in his back. Really tore him apart at the last Rage in the Cage. Was the second to last guy in the ring. Took a sick bump, kind of like that right there when he went through the chairs, but he landed solid on the concrete floor. Has not been able to wrestle since, but said he would not miss this IPW reunion show. He'd rather go in the ring and cripple himself tonight than know that he missed out on this big show.
Look at the crowd here, packed into the VFW. They're using chairs as weapons. They're using the floor as weapons. And by God, they're using people as weapons. Security Steve back here in IPW trying to restore order. Look at that harlot at ringside getting into the face of Rod Steele. He happens to like that. Look at the kick. Mikey Tenderfoot lighting up the midsection of Rod Steele, trying to gain the upper hand and throwing the Miami Palm Machine back in the ring where he can do his business on him.
Mikey Tenderfoot smartly getting Rod Steele back in the ring. Mikey Tenderfoot can fly and he can go to the outside of the ring, but as we said, he hasn't been in this game for a few months now. Rod Steele has been going, hitting the gym, hitting the rings. He's definitely got the most recent advantage here as far as ring shape goes. Oh, and there you see taking Mikey Tenderfoot down with a big gourd buster. Rod Steele solidly on top of this match, just like he said he would be. And Ron, this match started so quick, I didn't welcome you to the announce booth. Wait, let's go for a quick pen, 2. Oh, not quite 3. You thought maybe Eddie Edwards would go a little bit faster than that, but maybe he is here to call it, as he says, right down the middle.
You want to talk about not welcoming me? I guess that's the 12-pack of Milwaukee's vest that you're talking about sitting here next to me. And no, that is not welcoming. It's an insult, but Rod Steele, underhook, drops Mikey Tenderfoot into a wicked sit-out powerbomb, bending Mikey in half. Honest Eddie Edwards, completely disheveled, as always, standing in the corner, down for the 2. Oh, I don't know. You know what, Rod Steele? I think he thinks he's got Eddie Edwards in his back pocket. I think he thought he had an easy victory right there. He looks confused, he looks baffled, and he doesn't look happy whatsoever. Eddie Edwards, maybe he is calling it down the middle, Aaron.
He could be, but let's not forget the style of Eddie Edwards and lately Mikey Tenderfoot, who will even tell you copied a whole lot of his refereeing technique from Eddie Edwards. They weren't there so much to get the quick victory for their team as they were to assure they didn't get defeated. These guys are referees, and by nature, they've got a little bit of the competitive nature, I guess, inside of them. Sometimes I think he forgets he's in the ring for a purpose, but don't tell me for a second, I don't care what he's doing right now, that at least in Rod Steele's head, he's not in there to get him the victory.
Truth is, Rod Steele's got his hands full in there with his arch nemesis, Mikey Tenderfoot. Look at these guys. You want to talk about a counter for every counter. Ducks under, hits him with a beautiful kick, hooks him for a vertical suplex, goes for a beautiful twisting fisherman buster. I think that's what it might be called, or I might have just made up a move, Aaron.
No, actually, what he was doing was going for the deep dick in there. Mikey Tenderfoot blocked it. Rod Steele on top for a pin. Only a 2 count. Eddie Edwards not in there making the fast count like you think he would. I don't know, Ronini. I'm still going with my gut saying Eddie Edwards is up to no good, but I have to agree with you thus far. He's calling it straight down the middle, and Rod Steele, none too happy about that.
You want to talk about a who's who? We got Honest Eddie Edwards coming back to IPW. You got Mikey Tenderfoot in this match coming back. You got people like Freight Train Freddy in the crowd. There he is, the big man right there. For God's sake, get out of the way of the camera, you beast. Rod Steele looking to go up. What's he thinking of? This guy, I told him for over 5 years now, Rod, don't go to the top rope. It never works out. Have you watched any tapes of Ric Flair? Take some cues, brother. It isn't happening.
Big Ric Flair fan is Rod Steele. As you said, you think you know this move hasn't worked since 1986, and it's about to not work again. Another big ace crusher off the top rope, and if Mikey Tenderfoot can just get up, this match is going to be over.
Mikey Tenderfoot absolutely throwing no caution to the wind. This guy right here in his hometown of St. Petersburg, Florida, got the fans solidly behind him. Returning to IPW Hardcore Wrestling, has absolutely no business whatsoever in the ring. Wrestling against doctor's orders. The truth is, these guys are competitors, they're warriors, and they're gladiators. If they want to come to IPW Hardcore and they want to fight and they want to try to get that win, we're not going to keep them from the ring. They're going to sign that release and they're going to go in there, and I guarantee you Rod Steele knows that back. He knows that the lumbar spine, he knows the C-spine and the L-spine. I think that might be the lumbar, or it's another part of the spine that they haven't named yet. He knows it's in all kinds of trouble, and he's going to go to work on it, Aaron.
All right, fans, write it down. Ron Nini finally took a breath as he misses a near fall by Mikey Tenderfoot, and Mikey Tenderfoot not happy at Eddie Edwards' count, but I tell you, it's pretty much the same count he's been getting. Oh, but look at that, a mule kick right between the legs there. Rod Steele and Mikey Tenderfoot, but a big suplex, and Mikey Tenderfoot taking him right back down.
These two going at it tooth and nail, just like you'd expect. A historical feud in IPW Hardcore. Mikey Tenderfoot, the lateral press, tries to hook the leg. Oh, Honest Eddie seeming. I've heard that he's had some problems with his wrist as of late. I'm not sure if it's carpal tunnel. I'm not sure if it's another injury. He is a computer technician on the side. This guy suffers many, many grueling hours behind the keyboard. And he takes, look at this beautiful German suplex, absolutely destroying the neck of Mikey Tenderfoot.
Less than half an inch away from destroying his neck. Oh, and Mikey, I guess maybe got the shoulder up. We don't have a good angle, but Eddie Edwards right there stops the count. Mikey Tenderfoot able to get out of that one.
Mikey Tenderfoot, you want to talk about intestinal fortitude and many other wrestling cliches? Mikey Tenderfoot's got all of them. Honest Eddie Edwards trying to shake off this injury, rubbing some dirt in it, get back in the game. Bad wrist, bad shoulder, and from what I understand, a sprayed lumbago. It's not going to hold off Eddie Edwards. Rod Steele whips him up, sends him up, beautiful drop kick. Mikey Tenderfoot knocking Rod Steele out of his boots.
Mikey Tenderfoot seems to be able to get out of any maneuver from any position. Big clothesline on Rod Steele, and he's setting him up here, going for the pin, but not hooking the leg. Two.
Oh, the IPW official rulebook. Honest Eddie Edwards obviously finding a discrepancy. Letting Mikey Tenderfoot know there's something that's went wrong. Wait a second.
Rulebook, that looks like the sports page to me. I think he's trying to share some Philadelphia Eagles tidbits, both big fans, but Mikey Tenderfoot having none of it. And I tell you what, Ron Nemi, I think we can forget about any pretense of Eddie Edwards not being in there with his own agenda.
Honest Eddie Edwards, he does have his own agenda. It happens to be hooking up with very, very large women from the greater Tampa, St. Pete area, but it's neither here nor there. Mikey Tenderfoot, Rod Steele going for the beautiful, sets him up. Oh my God, Mikey Tenderfoot's neck is absolutely finished. Rod's just got to roll him over. This is it.
And Eddie Edwards stops that count, pulls the shoulder again.
What's going on here?
Eddie Edwards seems to be playing mind games with both these guys. Tell you, don't put it past Eddie Edwards to come out here and try to get a little bit of shine and steal that spotlight. Mikey Tenderfoot with a roll-up. 1, 2, 3, that's it!
What the hell? What is Eddie doing? You want to talk about an agenda? You want to talk about a guy that had a game plan of his own? Rod Steele, I believe, just absolutely got bamboozled.